Follow the warning instructions in order to ensure safety while reversing the door swing. Failure to follow these instructions, leaving off parts, or over-tightening screws can lead to the door falling off and result in injury and property damage. This appliance is top-heavy, especially with the door open, and must be secured to prevent tipping forward, which could result in death or serious injury. Now, open the door and have the second person support the open door. Remove the two T30 Torx screws securing the top hinge to the case. Likewise, remove the two T30 Torx screws securing the bottom hinge to the case. Place the door on a protected work surface to prevent scratches, liner side down. Note that the door hinges are under tension and should be left in the open position throughout the reversal procedure. Closing the hinge can lead to a finger pinch point hazard. First step is to remove the upper enclosure. Open the front cover of the enclosure to 90 degrees and locate the filter and filter removal tool. To remove the filter, use the tool to rotate the filter a quarter turn counterclockwise and then pull it towards you. Note that the water system will not function without the filter in place. Remove the 6 1/4-inch hex screws securing the front enclosure to the top case. To move control assembly, first remove the upper hinge brackets by removing the T30 Torx screws. Then, remove the Phillips head screw from the middle of the housing on the hinge side. Now insert a flathead screwdriver or putty knife between the glass front and plastic side and free the control assembly by prying the plastic pins clear of the side bracket holes. Lay the glass assembly on top of the control housing. Using a 1/4-inch hex bit, remove 4 screws, 2 on each end, to remove the housing assembly. Move the housing assembly to the opposite side and install using 4 screws, 2 screws on each side. Make sure wires do not get pinched. On an 18-inch model, the red, white, black 5-pin wire connector needs to be removed from the control board and routed through the opposite quarter bracket and reconnected to the control board to prevent pinching the wiring. Snap glass assembly back onto the control housing assembly, ensuring plastic pins snap into holes on the side of the housing. To move light switch housing, remove the front access cover from unit by removing the 2 1/4-inch hex head screws. Then, remove the Phillips screw and the lower hinge brackets by removing the 3 T30 Torx screws. Remove the screw at the bottom corner of light switch housing with Phillips driver. Slide the housing forward and down to remove from case and grommets on case bottom. Keeping it connected to the unit, lay the housing aside. Move the mounting bracket to the other side of the unit by removing 2 Phillips screws and using them to install the bracket in its new location. Remove 2 grommets with Phillips driver. Move grommets to the set of 2 holes on opposite side. Align housing keyholes over grommets and then slide back until engaged. Ensure wires do not get pinched. Install the Phillips screw in a bottom hole to hold in place. Now, reinstall the hinge brackets. Move the top hinge bracket to bottom and the bottom bracket to top. Note that you have to flip the bracket to perform this step. Ensure that the 2 rectangular slots of the bracket are on outside hinge side of the case. Install both the brackets with 3 T30 Torx screws tightened to 45 inch-pounds. Install the Phillips screw. Start to screw 2 screws in each bracket to mount the hinge, but do not tighten all the way. Secure the enclosure assembly with the 6 1/4-inch hex head screws previously removed. Insert filter into its position to align to the blue arrow on the filter and rotate a quarter turn clockwise using the filter removal tool. Return the filter removal tool to mounting hook. Close the compartment door. Before you remove the hinges from the refrigerator door, Note that the door hinges are under tension and should be left in the open position throughout the reversal procedure. Closing the hinge can lead to a finger pinch point hazard. To reverse the hinges, begin by removing the bottom hinge cover. Retain cover and screws for reversing hinge covers during stainless steel door or custom overlay panel installation. Remove the 3 screws securing each hinge from the top and bottom of the door and 1 T30 Torx screw securing the support bracket to the door. Notice that the hinge, the L bracket already attached to hinge, and the support bracket will all move together. The 2 shims between the hinge bracket and door will be moved to the other side. Save these for installing the hinge later. Now move the hinge assembly to the opposite end of the door. Then move the top hinge to the bottom and bottom hinge to the top. Remove the panel brackets on each end of the door by removing the T30 Torx screws. Slide the same bracket on each end to the other side of door and reinstall the brackets to the door. Now install the hinges to the door, ensuring that the 2 shims are between the hinge L bracket and the door with 3 T30 Torx screws tightened to 45 inch-pounds. Ensure that the L bracket remains attached to the hinge and is on the other side of the door, and the hinge is on the inner door side. Install the support bracket screw through both the support bracket and the panel bracket. To reverse the door hinge covers, take the top assembly from the installation box. Remove the screws and the nuts to take out the rectangular cover. Retain the parts to build the top assembly. Rotate them by 180 degrees. Mount the bottom hinge cover that we removed earlier to the top assembly using the screws and nuts that were removed from the top assembly. Have the second person hold the door with hinges near the correct position while you install the top hinges with keyhole over screws and slide bracket. Repeat for the bottom hinges. Before tightening the screws, ensure that the 2 tabs on the hinges are inserted into the rectangular slots on the outside of the hinge brackets. Tighten the bottom and top screws to 45 inch-pounds. Carefully ensure the door closes correctly and gasket aligns with case. Note, after reversing the door, the unit is to be removed from the pallet before mounting it into the cabinetry. After the installation is complete and the custom panels are installed, attach the top assembly to the top of the door and the top hinge cover to the bottom of the door using the screws that were removed. Install the outer and inner trims along the door of the refrigerator. The installation procedure to reverse the door swing is complete now.